Hi, welcome to another short video, this time about the Windows file structure. Whenever we save any documents on our computer, anything, whether it's a picture, a report for school, a spreadsheet, video, anything that you save is considered a document. And because over the course of the 10 years or so that you might own a computer, you end up with thousands and thousands of documents, there had to be a better way of organizing them. So what Windows has in it is file folders, but they can be thought of as a box. And typically what you do is you throw your documents of a similar type into a box that is specifically for that type. And on your hard drive, you end up with a whole bunch of different boxes, some for pictures, some for games, some for videos, some for music, etc. Now, on Windows, you have this little icon down on the bottom of your screen usually that looks like a file folder called Windows Explorer. If you don't, you can usually find it up in here someplace. If you open Windows Explorer, it should open up to a library, and you'll see some that are labeled documents, music, pictures, videos. You can add other things in here too if you'd like. Each one of these is a place where you can store a particular type of file. Like in here we have a few music files. You could even add in, see there's a couple of folders here, you could even add in by right clicking anywhere on the window, choosing new folder. Now you could add in a new folder for certain types of music like classic rock. Now over here you'll see a tree directory. Over on the left you'll see a tree directory. Some of it shows your favorites. There's the libraries that we saw on the last screen there. And up here in this window it always shows you where you are in your selections. So if I went into classic rock, see it shows up here. You can even just click on music and it'll take you back a step. Now over on this left-hand side, you'll see one where it says computer. This is everything that's on your computer. You see there's one that's labeled Drive C. That's the main hard drive of your computer. If you're wondering why it's Drive C, it's because original computers did not have hard drives with them. When you bought a computer, it came with 2 floppy drives. Drive A was usually where you would put in your program disk, and Drive B would be where you put in your data disk. And on really large programs, it would occasionally tell you, please insert disk 6 into Drive A, and wait for you to do it. But so here we have Drive C, that's a hard drive. Then we have our DVD drive. And then I have an external hard drive called Drive E. Now you can have many more drives than this. Let's take a closer look in Drive C here. You'll see there's program files 86, there's users, and Windows. Windows is where the main operating system is stored, and you'll see there's tons of little additional folders in here where it stores different kinds of information. And then there's users. Each user of the computer, where you have to log in at the beginning, gets a name in here, and all of their preferences are going to be saved in there. Now this is the Windows way of accessing and moving around the files. For a long time, we would all be at a DOS prompt, which looks like the command prompt, which you can access by typing in the letters CMD, like the abbreviation for command, and then hitting enter. That'll bring you to the command prompt window. Now there's a few commands on here that are good for navigating. The first one is the word, or the abbreviation for directory, dir. You type that in and hit enter, and it brings up a directory of whatever folder you're currently looking in. And here, there are no actual files, there are just more subdirectories. Now you can type in CD, which stands for change directory, and the backslash. That backslash is the one that's up near the backspace key, and that'll bring you to the main C:/, which tells you that's the hard drive. If you wanted to, you could type in D:// and hit enter. And actually just D:/ and hit enter, and that'll bring you to the D drive, which on mine is the DVD drive. And you can hit type directory again, dir, and it'll show you a list of, again here there's just a bunch of more directories. So we type change directories, which is CD space, and we can type in one of those directory names. Like I'll type in video_TS and hit enter, and it changes to that directory. Now if I type in directory again, well, here I get a list of a bunch of data files. You can see this first one is just a little over 16,000 bytes of information. It's got the file name, and then it has at the end IFO. That is some sort of a file type. I'm not really sure what IFO does. Sounds like information though, but I'm not sure. Change directories, 2 dots brings you back 1 level. And the levels used to be important because it you can get several levels deep. Now, I remember one time talking about those different file types. Your mom used to kick my butt in Minesweeper. So one day I went and I looked in the directory, and I found where it kept the scores was just a simple text file. So I went in there and changed it so that I won. I told her a few days later, though. Just let her stew a little bit. But like here, if we wanted to look at Minesweeper, we would go, we're on the C drive again now, so we would go change directories, program files, and we go change directories, Microsoft games. And here, let me show you something you can do too if you want. I'm gonna go change directories back 1 level. So now we're at program file. So I can go change directories. I can go Microsoft games, and then put a backslash, and then Minesweeper, all on one command, and it'll bring me 2 levels ahead, all the way into the Minesweeper directory. Now if I type directory, we show that there is 1 more directory, and there are 2 files. You see on the bottom here, this bottom file is minesweeper.exe. That is an executable file. That is the type of file that can actually be run by your computer. And the only type, well, there is one that's called that ends in .com, C-O-M. but I don't expect you'll ever see one of those because they're so old that they could only run like really, really tiny files. The one above this is also kind of an important file type to know. That's a DLL. That stands for Dynamic Link Library. That is, sometimes when you're programming, you will build a library of tools and you will put them in a DLL. Then anytime you're using those kind of tools, you can just use this DLL, and it will have access to all of those tools. As you go with programming, you're going to see there's going to be tons of different types of file types that you're using. In C, you're going to be using files that end in .h. Those are header files. You're going to see some that are .obj, which are object files. If you're programming things with videos, you're going to be using ones that end in .avi or maybe MP4. If you're working with still pictures, you might be using .bmp, which is bitmap, or JPEG. So every file, they try to make them all so that they're unique. Occasionally, you will end up with a file where it ends in the same, but when you try to open it, it doesn't actually open. You'll get an error saying trouble accessing it. And that's because most files at the top, they have a little chunk called header information. And that comes before the data. This header information tells it stuff that you'll need to know about the file. Like on a JPEG, I think if I remember right, they tell you the width and the height of the picture, and then they also tell you if it's a black and white picture or color image, and then they give you some encoding schemes based on if it's black and white or if it's color. Then they have all the actual picture data. So if your program tries to open it up, the first thing it's going to do is look at this header information. If it can't read it, it's going to give you an error. So that's about it for the basics of the file structure. You can go ahead and poke around in it on your computer if you like, and as you're programming, you'll get more and more used to using it. All right, until next time. Bye.